Lyra was an alien mother from a far planet called Solara. Her people were peaceful and loved their families very much. Lyra had a young child named Chiron. Chiron was full of life and curiosity. He loved to explore the green fields and bright skies of Solara. Lyra always watched him closely and kept him safe. One day, a terrible thing happened. Solara was attacked by space raiders. These raiders were rough and violent. They came in ships that covered the sky. Lyra heard the loud sounds of explosions and saw fires in the distance. Many of her people tried to hide, but the raiders took many away. In the chaos, Chiron was lost. Lyra looked everywhere but could not find him. She called his name again and again. Her heart grew heavy with fear. She thought Chiron was gone forever. Tears filled her eyes. She sat down on the ground, feeling helpless. The raiders left after. Sometime, Solara was broken and quiet. The people tried to help each other. Lyra walked through the village, hoping for news. No one had seen Chiron. The pain was deep in her chest. She could not eat or sleep. Every night she dreamed of Chiron and wished he was safe. Far away from Solara, on a human colony called Nova Station, a man named Ryan worked as a mechanic. Ryan was not rich or famous. He was a simple man who liked to fix machines and help people. He heard rumors about the raiders and the lost alien child. The story made him curious and worried. Ryan often looked at the stars and thought about the people who lived there. He had never met aliens before, but he wanted to help if he could. One day, he decided to learn more about Chiron and the raiders. He asked friends and read reports about the dangerous space near Solara. He found out that Chiron might be alive. Some said the raiders took children to a far place, an old asteroid base used by pirates. It was a dark and scary place. Many thought no one could escape from there, but Ryan did not believe it was impossible. He wanted to try and save Chiron. Ryan built a small ship with the tools he had. It was not fast or strong, but it was good enough for a rescue mission. He packed supplies and started his journey to the asteroid. The trip was hard, space was cold and quiet. Sometimes Ryan felt alone, but he kept going. Back on Solara, Lyra did not give up hope. She talked to the elders of her people and asked for help. The elders gave her old maps and stories about space pirates. Lyra learned that Chiron might still be alive somewhere. She prayed every day and waited for a miracle. The days passed slowly. Lyra met other mothers who had lost children too. They shared their pain but also their hope. They made a promise to find their children or to never forget them. Lyra felt stronger with this promise. Ryan reached the asteroid. It was bigger and darker than he thought. The pirate ships moved around like dangerous sharks. He had to be careful. Using his skills, Ryan found a hidden path inside the asteroid base. He moved quietly, avoiding the guards. After searching many rooms, Ryan found a small prison pod. Inside was Chiron. The child was weak and scared, but still alive. Ryan gently opened the pod and helped Chiron out. Chiron looked at Ryan with wide eyes. He did not understand the language, but saw kindness in Ryan's face. Ryan gave Chiron food and water. He told him it was time to go home. Chiron nodded slowly. Ryan carried him carefully back through the maze of the base. They had to hide from pirates many times. Ryan's heart beat fast, but he never stopped. Finally, they reached Ryan's ship. Chiron held Ryan's hand for the first time. The trip back to Solara was long. Ryan talked softly to Chiron. The child started to feel safe. They both hoped Lara was waiting for them. Ryan's small ship moved through space, heading back toward Solara. Chiron sat quietly beside him, still weak but slowly gaining strength. Ryan watched the young alien with care. He did not know much about Chiron's language or people, but he knew Chiron needed help and safety. The trip was not easy. Space was full of dangers. One day, a group of pirate ships appeared near them. Ryan quickly took control. He used every skill he had to avoid the pirates. The pirates fired lasers, but Ryan's ship was small and fast. He dodged and weaved until the pirates lost sight of them. Chiron watched the lights and sounds in awe. He had never seen such things before. He felt a little safer with Ryan's calm voice beside him. Slowly, Chiron started to trust Ryan. He reached out his small hand and Ryan held it tightly. Back on Solara, Lyra felt a strange hope. She had dreamed of Chiron many nights in a row. In her dreams, Chiron was safe and calling for her. She told her people about the dreams, and they listened carefully. Some began to believe that Chiron was still alive. Lyra asked the elders to prepare a place for Chiron's return. She gathered food, water, and warm clothes. Her heart was full of love and fear. She knew the journey to find Chiron would be hard, but she never stopped hoping. Ryan single quotes S ship passed the outer rings of Solara's system. Communication was still difficult, but Ryan sent a message to the planet. He told them he had Chiron and was coming home. Lyra heard the message and cried with joy. She waited for the ship to arrive. The landing was gentle. Ryan carried Chiron from the ship into the open air. The sky was bright and many aliens watched silently. Lyra ran to Chiron, and they embraced. Tears rolled down both their faces. The crowd was quiet, moved by the reunion. Kyren looked at Lyra and smiled for the first time in a long time. He reached out and touched her face. Lyra held him close and whispered soft words. The pain of loss began to fade in that moment. Ryan stood nearby, feeling happy but shy. The aliens looked at him with curiosity and thanks. Lyra stepped forward and thanked Ryan in her simple way. She said humans were brave and kind. Ryan smiled and said he only did what anyone would do for a child. After the reunion, Lyra and Ryan talked about what to do next. The alien people wanted to learn about humans, and Ryan wanted to help. They agreed to work together to protect their worlds from future dangers. Kyren slowly grew stronger. Lyra took care of him, and Ryan visited often. The friendship between the human and the aliens grew. They shared stories and learned from each other. One day, the aliens invited Ryan to a special ceremony. They gave him a small symbol of their thanks. Ryan felt proud and grateful. He never thought his simple act would mean so much. Lyra looked at the stars with hope. She knew Chiron's safe return was the start of something new. Humans and aliens could live and work together. The universe was wide and full of life, and now so was friendship. Ryan stayed on Solara longer than he planned. He wanted to help Lyra and her people. The damage from the raiders was still clear. Buildings were broken and the land was scarred. But the aliens worked hard to fix their homes. Lyra showed Ryan the places Chiron loved to play. The green fields and the tall trees looked peaceful again. Chiron smiled as he walked carefully with his mother. He was still weak, but getting stronger every day. Ryan helped the people by fixing machines and teaching them how to use human tools. The aliens watched carefully and learned fast. Some were afraid at first, but Ryan's kindness made them feel safe. One day, a group of aliens asked Ryan about Earth and humans. Ryan told simple stories about his home and his family. The aliens listened with wide eyes. They wanted to know more about the people who saved Kyren. Kyren began to explore more with his mother and Ryan. He loved to look at the stars and ask questions. Ryan told him stories about space and other planets. Chiron was curious and happy again, but not all was calm. Some raiders were still near Solara. They watched from a distance, waiting for a chance to strike again. Ryan knew they had to be ready to protect the planet. Ryan and Lyra worked together to build defenses. They used new ideas and old alien knowledge. The people trained to be strong and ready. Chiron watched and wanted to help when he was bigger. One evening, as the sun set, Ryan and Lyra talked quietly. They shared hopes for the future. Lyra thanked Ryan again for saving her child. Ryan said he was glad to help and that friends could come from many worlds. The bond between the human and aliens grew stronger. They learned that even in different bodies and languages, people could understand each other's hearts. As days passed, Chiron played more and laughed with other children. Lyra's eyes shone with pride. She knew her family was safe again. Ryan looked at the stars and thought about new adventures. He hoped humans and aliens would explore the universe together with trust and friendship. Ryan spent more time on Solara. He helped Lyra and her people fix their homes. The alien village was slowly becoming alive again. Trees were planted and broken buildings were rebuilt. The people smiled more. Lyra watched Chiron grow stronger every day, the child played with other young aliens. He laughed and ran through the fields. Lyra was happy to see her child safe and full of life again. Ryan taught the aliens how to use new tools. He showed them how humans fixed machines and built ships. The aliens were curious and asked many questions. They wanted to learn about the human way. Ryan liked to follow Ryan around. He wanted to know everything about the machines. Ryan told Chiron stories about space and distant planets. Chiron's eyes shone with wonder. One day, Lyra and Ryan walked outside the village. They talked about the future. Lyra said she hoped humans and aliens could be friends forever. Ryan smiled and said he felt the same, but danger was still near. The raiders had not left the area. They watched from afar and waited for a chance to attack again. Ryan knew they had to be ready. Ryan and Lyra helped the people prepare for battle. They built defenses and trained warriors. The aliens learned to fight with new weapons Ryan brought. The community became stronger and braver. Ryan wanted to help too. He practiced with small tools and dreamed of being a hero one day. Lyra was proud but worried for his safety. One night, the raiders attacked again. Alarms sounded, and the village hurried to fight. Ryan used his skills to protect the people. Lyra stayed close to Chiron, keeping him safe. The fight was hard and loud, but the aliens and Ryan worked well together. The raiders were pushed back and left the planet. After the battle, the people celebrated. They thanked Ryan for his courage and help. Lyra hugged Ryan and said he was a true friend. Ryan felt proud but humble. He knew the fight was not just his, but all who stood together. He looked at the stars and hoped for peace. Ryan smiled and ran to Ryan. He said he wanted to learn more about being brave. Ryan laughed and promised to teach him everything. The bond between humans and aliens grew deeper. They shared hope, courage, and friendship. Together they looked toward a bright future in the wide universe. Life on Solara was changing. The people worked together to rebuild their homes and lives. The memory of the raiders made them strong. They knew they had to protect their world and their families. Lyra spent most of her days with Chiron. She taught him about their culture, the songs of the stars, and the stories of their ancestors. Chiron listened carefully and loved learning about his people. Ryan helped where he could. He fixed machines, built new tools, and shared human ideas. The aliens found Ryan's way different but useful. They liked how humans used simple tools to do hard work. Ryan grew stronger and more curious. He asked many questions about the stars, spaceships, and other planets. Ryan enjoyed answering and showing Chiron human gadgets. One day, a messenger came from a nearby planet. The message was about new threats in the space near Solara. Raiders were gathering again. The news worried the people. Ryan and Lyra called a meeting with the elders. They talked about how to prepare for the coming danger. Everyone agreed to work together and build better defenses. Ryan wanted to help. He trained with the young aliens and learned how to use small tools. Lyra was proud but careful. She knew the world could be harsh. As the days passed, Ryan and Lyra planned to build a communication system. This system would help Solara talk to other planets and ask for help if needed. Ryan used his human knowledge to design the system. The aliens worked hard. Many joined the project, learning from Ryan. Chiron helped too, carrying parts and cheering the workers. One night, the sky was clear and the stars shone brightly. Lyra looked up and thought about how far Chiron had come. She felt hope in her heart. The next day, a scout ship arrived from another planet. It brought friends and help. The people of Solara welcomed the visitors with open hearts. Ryan met the new friends and shared stories of the rescue and the fight against the raiders. The visitors promised to stand with Solara against any danger. Ryan was happy to see new faces. He played with the children from the visitors' ship. The aliens laughed and sang together, feeling stronger as one. Lyra thanked Ryan for everything. She said he was more than a friend. He was part of their family now. Ryan smiled and said he was glad to be there. He looked at the sky, dreaming of the day when peace would spread across all the stars. The days on Solara grew brighter. The alien village was full of life again. Children played, people worked, and hope filled the air. Lyra watched Chiron grow strong and happy. He was no longer the scared child she had found. Now he smiled and laughed with others. Ryan stayed with them. He helped build better homes and fixed machines that made life easier. The aliens learned from Ryan, and Ryan learned from them. They shared stories of their worlds and dreams of the future. One morning, Lyra and Ryan walked outside the village. They saw the green fields and blue sky. The sun warmed their faces. Lyra said she was grateful for the new friendship between their people. Ryan nodded. He said that friendship was the best thing in the universe. He wanted humans and aliens to live in peace and help each other. Kyrn joined them. He held Lyra's hand and smiled at Ryan. The three looked toward the stars, thinking of new adventures, but peace was not always easy. Some parts of space were still dangerous. Pirates and raiders roamed the stars. Ryan and the aliens knew they had to be ready. Together, they built defenses around the planet. They trained young aliens to be brave and smart. Ryan taught them how to use tools and machines to protect themselves. Kyrn learned quickly. He wanted to be a protector like his mother and Ryan. He practiced every day, proud to help his people. One day, a ship appeared near Solara. It was a human ship from a far colony. The crew came to visit and bring supplies. They were happy to see the strong bond between humans and aliens on Solara. The visitors shared news of the galaxy. They talked about new friends and dangers. The people of Solara listened and learned. Lyra and Ryan thanked the visitors. They promised to keep working for peace and friendship. At night, Lyra, Ryan, and Karen sat together under the stars. They spoke softly of hopes and dreams. They dreamed of a time when all beings could live without fear. The future looked bright. With courage, kindness, and friendship, they knew they could face anything. Time passed on Solara. The planet grew peaceful and strong. Lyra watched Karen grow into a brave young alien. He helped his people and learned many new things. Ryan stayed as a friend and teacher. The bond between humans and aliens was deep and strong. One day, a new ship came from a distant star. It carried leaders from many planets. They had heard about Solara's courage and friendship. The leaders wanted to make a new alliance for peace and safety in the galaxy. Lyra and Ryan welcomed the leaders. Chiron stood proudly beside them. The meeting was hopeful and full of promise. The planets agreed to work together and protect each other. Ryan and Lyra spoke about their journey. They told how a human saved a lost child and brought hope to a whole people. The story inspired everyone. After the meeting, the visitors toured Solara. They saw the rebuilt villages, the happy children, and the strong people. They learned from the aliens and humans working as one. Kyrn showed the visitors his favorite places. He told stories of the stars in his dreams. The visitors smiled and said the future was bright. Lyra felt proud. She knew that love and courage could change the world. She looked at Ryan and said, "Thank you for never giving up." Ryan smiled and said it was the hope in Lyra and Chiron that kept him going. The sun set on Solara, painting the sky with colors of peace. The stars shone bright above, a sign of new beginnings. The story of Lyra, Chiron, and Ryan became a legend. It showed that even in a big and unknown universe, kindness and friendship could bring light to the darkest places. And so, the human and the alien mother watched the stars together, ready for whatever adventures lay ahead.